When you hear the words extraction shooter, your mind probably goes straight to Escape From Tarkov or Hunt Showdown, maybe even Vigor or Marauders if you've gone deep enough. You think of slow, methodical movement, gear fear, and high-stress gameplay. 40 minutes of crawling through bushes because the sound of your own footsteps feels like you're being pinged on the map. And for the last 5 years, that was the definition of an extraction shooter. The genre was built on the foundation of get in, get loot, and get out. The fun wasn't in playing, the fun was in surviving. The tension was the entertainment. But here's the problem. If you're trying to force Arc Raiders into that 2017 definition of extraction shooter, you're already missing the point. The community discourse proves it. Scroll through Reddit, dive into the Steam forums, peek into any YouTube comment section, and you'll see a massive disconnect. There's an entire segment of players still treating Arc like it's supposed to follow the old formula beat for beat. They hear someone suggest a different pacing or a PvPvE adjustment and respond with, "That's not what extraction shooters are, just deal with it." But the numbers, player behavior, and the evolution of the genre all say the same thing. The definition of an extraction shooter has changed. Arc Raiders isn't breaking the rules, it's rewriting them. Welcome back to the channel, Raiders. I'm Darth Trooper Gaming, and let's talk about how Arc Raiders isn't just another extraction shooter. So first, let's talk about scale, and I'm talking real scale, because this is where the entire conversation around Arc Raiders snaps into focus. Try to keep up, there's going to be a lot of big numbers. Tarkov, the long-standing king of the extraction genre, pulls in about 2.1 million monthly active users. Daily, Tarkov sees around 500,000 players across all platforms. Hunt Showdown, one of the most respected PvPvE shooters ever made, brings in around 850,000 to 1.1 million monthly active users, with around 200,000 logging in daily. It's one of gaming's most loyal, passionate, and consistent audiences. These numbers are fantastic. They represent years of refinement, dedicated community, and deeply established identity. But Arc Raiders isn't even playing in the same arena. Arc Raiders is pulling in 5.5 to 6 million monthly active players. Now let me say that again in case you didn't hear me. 5.5 to 6 million people monthly. And it's only in its second month since launch. The game is projected to have sales around 9 million before the end of the year. We're looking at around 2.2 million players logging in every single day. Steam alone averages 260,000 concurrent players at any moment. And that's before we even count Xbox and PlayStation. Because when you add the consoles, the reach becomes extremely massive. Suddenly, that 482,000 player launch peak on Steam doesn't look like an anomaly. It looks like a signal flare for where the genre is headed. Because here's the part most people aren't internalizing. The entire pre-Arc extraction community was only around 3 million monthly players. Arc Raiders launched and immediately brought in over 4 million players who were completely new to the extraction genre. Not just curious, not just passing through. They stayed, and they now make up the majority of this genre's player base. This isn't the same extraction audience from 2017. This isn't niche anymore. This is mainstream. And those new players, they're not here because Arc copied the old formula. They're here because Arc evolved it. They want momentum. They want energy. They want PvPvE. True PvPvE, where the PvE part isn't just an afterthought. They want a genre that feels alive, not archaic. Meanwhile, the old guard, the 3 million players who define the traditional Tarkov and Hunt era, remain extremely vocal. They comment under every video. They challenge every suggestion. They argue that Arc must preserve the classic extraction identity as if it's a rule written in stone. But here's the truth. Volume isn't majority. Just because millions of legacy extraction players want the genre to stay exactly as it was, doesn't mean the developers will shape the future solely around them, any more than they'll design the game exclusively for players who want pure PvE. Embark isn't guessing. They have telemetry. They know who logs in, what they do, and what keeps them playing. They know the genre has outgrown its old boundaries. They know the audience is broader and more diverse than ever, and Arc Raiders is being shaped around the players who exist today, not the definitions written 5 years ago. So let's address the most common expression I see online. Arc Raiders gets boring. Here's the honest reality. If you're feeling that, it might not be the game. It might be the way you're approaching it. A lot of players are coming into Arc running a Tarkov mindset. Kill on sight, ignore the map, laser focus on players and nothing else. That mindset works in Tarkov because Tarkov's environment is predictable and the real threat is always other players. But Arc Raiders isn't Tarkov. It isn't Hunt. It's PvPvE. And the E isn't background noise. It's half of the experience. If you're ignoring the machines, skipping quests, sprinting past encounters, and treating Ark like a pure PvP arena, then yeah, it's gonna feel repetitive. You're voluntarily cutting yourself out of half of the game. And here's the kicker. Those magical first weeks, those alliances, friendly warnings, chaotic third-party machine fights, improvised team-ups, none of those came from PvP alone. They came from the world reacting to you. But as the sweats roll in, as they always do in online games, some players start treating Ark like ranked COD with extra loot. They run past the PvE, they sprint headfirst into firefights, they ignore the environment entirely, and then they wonder why the game feels boring. Ark isn't built to be a pure PvP arena. PvP is a part of the experience, not the whole story. Embark Studios has made it clear. Ark Raiders is built with a long-term vision, a 10-year plan focused on skill expression, evolving content, and a world that stays fun to engage with. They're not trying to recreate Tarkov. They're not trying to mimic Hunt. Those games already exist, and they're excellent at what they do. Ark Raiders is carving out its own lane, one that brings the extraction formula to a wider audience without losing its stakes or tension. If you want the classic hardcore loop, the slow, punishing, tactical marathon, Tarkov and Hunt are still there. You can still play them. They're thriving, and they're not going anywhere. But Ark Raiders isn't here to preserve tradition. It's here to push the genre forward. So next time you drop into a raid, try playing the game Ark actually is. Use proximity chat, engage the machines, work with the chaos instead of fighting it. Let the world shape your encounter. Because if we let Ark devolve into just another PvP only shooter, we're throwing away one of the most promising evolutions this genre has seen in a decade. But that's just my perspective on the numbers and the gameplay. Now I want to hear from you. Are you someone who feels the PvE gets in the way, or do you think the machines are the glue holding the experience together? Drop your thoughts down below. If this video got you thinking, hit that like button, subscribe, and then ring the bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. This has been Darth Trooper Gaming. Stay safe topside, and I'll see you in the next video.